Um, my name is Taylor. If you don't know, I am wanting to make a video in regards to all things contest prep and a short little vlog, basically talking about my journey to this stage in 2017. So, if you guys don't know, I am a nationally qualified figure competitor with the NPC, and I got nationally qualified in 2015, and then I went to nationals, teen nationals in Pittsburgh in 2015 for the teen masters nationals, and I placed first in the teen category and in collegiate A, and I loved it. Figure is something that's been in my life for a little while now, and that's what I compete for. That's what I've always competed for, is to be a figure competitor. I have goals to turn pro as a figure competitor, and so it's been something always on my heart. And my first ever competition, I was at the NBC Upper Midwest in Fargo, North Dakota, and that's how I qualified for the stage in Pittsburgh. And so I took a whole year off in 2016, and that played such a huge role in my growth mentally and physically. Huge role, actually. And so that's why I'm wanting to make this video, because I think 2016 helped me grow so much, and it is now reflecting in my prep in 2017, which I was going through now. And so, as of today, I would have been 6 weeks out, and my prep was going amazing. It was a really good prep, and I say was because I dropped out of prep, and that might be so very shocking for so many people, and honestly to me too. It's really shocking that I'm not going to be stepping on stage in 6 weeks, because I am the person who I don't want to give up. I do not like giving up, and that's not what I settle for. But just because you give up on something that you once thought was a dream doesn't mean that you are failing at all. And I gave up, and I realized that it wasn't in my heart anymore. And I'm not just saying that because it was hard. And yes, it is hard. But I loved figure for what platform it got me, and also everything it's introduced me to. But most importantly, I loved it because it taught me so many things. And I'm not saying that I don't know if I'll ever compete again. I'm not quite sure on that right now. But as of right now, it's something that's not in my heart, and I'll tell you exactly why. So in 2016, Jesus completely saved my life. I've grown up believing, but I've never really committed myself to Him and to live as a Christian and be totally committed to Him. And I feel like people take Christianity so lightly, and when you say, "Oh, I'm a Christian," but are you living like a half-assed Christian? Are you still cohabitating? Are you living with each other before marriage? Are you having sexual relationships outside of marriage or before marriage? And are you talking crap all the time about people? Are you lying to people? That kind of stuff. Are you actually trying to practice living for the Lord every day? And it wasn't until 2016 until I started going to, I got plugged in with a church called Fresh Life Church, and not until then I completely dedicated my life to Him, and He saved my life, and I live for a different purpose now. I have never lived to compete. I have never lived for that reason, and now I have a a whole new life and a whole new aspect, um, and a whole new reason I live my life for, and that's Jesus. And flash forward to this prep, I it's I've always loved the process of it, but this prep was a lot different. Um, it's a lot harder because the first prep go round, my first season in 2015, uh, and my coach Kayla, and also my business partner Kayla, who I work with under the OmniFit with, she had mentioned how when you're first going through something, it's like, wow, look at everything while it's happening. And you're just taking it all in. And this time around, it wasn't like that because I know what's happening and all that stuff. And so, flash forward to when things started getting really hard around like 8 weeks, 7 weeks, 6 weeks out. If anyone has prepped for a bodybuilding show, you know how low your energy can get and how while you're prepping your quality of life is very low. And that might sound harsh to some people, but it's the absolute truth. Your quality of life is very low and you have very low energy, your enthusiasm is not what it normally is, and you don't want to do what you normally want to do, you just want to sleep, you don't want to move a lot, and you get really snappy. At least I know I do. And someone was making a joke about how if someone looks at you the wrong way, I'm gonna snap. And honestly, that's not who I am. And I know it's for a short amount of time, and I know it's only for a couple weeks that you have to deal with that. But God spoke right to my heart, and I just can't ignore it. And He said that He planted in my heart that it's not okay with me if I treat someone that way. We are on this earth for such a short amount of time. I don't want to waste a day being unhappy and choosing to do that to myself. And I don't want to say I'm necessarily unhappy while I'm prepping, but it's not all butterflies and rainbows. And I'm not saying life is like that. You're going to go through hard times no matter what. But I was choosing to do this, and I just don't think it's worth it. And when I want to be enthusiastic, I want to serve the Lord with everything that I have. I want to represent Him in such a way that I can live like that, I can serve like that, I can help others, and I can pour into my clients, I can pour into becoming an EMT, I can pour into my school, and I just have so much going on that it just wasn't in the ballpark for me. And I still really surprised that I pulled out of something like that. But I don't want to waste another day doing something that I don't live for, and I don't live for figure. Yes, it's a great goal, and I am not talking down on anyone who loves to compete, because it's still a very, very close place to my heart, and I still absolutely love it. But right now, and what I'm after, it's just not on my schedule. And it's not one of my priorities, because I don't want to waste another second of my potential to reach other people. And I don't want people to portray me as short and anything other than a walking example of Jesus. And to me, competing was hindering me from that, and prepping was hindering me from that, and anything like that. Like I said, God just spoke to my very, very close to my heart, and said that's the spot, that is it, and you just can't ignore something like that. I feel bad for people who have that internal feeling that God is trying to tell you something, and and that's how you lead down a path that you you don't want to go. That's how you're going to lead down a path of destruction when you do not obey and you do not listen. And it's not always easy. Actually, not always. It's never easy. Um, it was something that was really, really deep and heavy on my heart, and I am quite surprised that I'm not bawling actually in this video about it, because it was something that I was very emotional about for a little while. And no, I don't want to give something up that means so much to me and something that has shaped my life, but I have a bigger purpose, and it's just not where my life is right now, and it's not what I want to reach others by. And one thing here too is I'm not stopping training. I'm not stopping anything I'm doing with nutrition. I'm actually wanting to excel with the OmniFit and my clients and helping to reach women and empower them. And I just feel like I just couldn't do that when I'm prepping. And some people maybe can, but I just could not deliver what my max potential could while I'm doing that. And I don't want to waste a second, honestly. And so I am called to do other things right now, and I'm still going to continue to eat and count my macros and live life and train like an athlete. That's another thing too. I want to try so many new things that I have never been exposed to, more like functional styles of training, maybe Olympic style training. There's a CrossFit gym in town that I want to try out, and I know that I have a gift for figure, and I have the shape for figure, and some people might be saying you're crazy for not doing that, but you know what, like I said, it's just on my heart right now. I am not quite sure what God has in store for me, but I'm just obeying, and I'm just living. I'm not living for myself. I am living through Jesus and a platform that He's given me to serve Him, and that's what I want to obey to all the time. And I want to try new things. I love fitness, and I always will. And He's blessed me with that passion in my heart. And I'm going to continue to get stronger. I want to get a lot bigger. My natural ladies know where I'm coming at, because it takes years upon years. Oh, so I definitely want to still get huge, and so I'll continue to do that and just find a new path that He's creating for me. So no, I'm not competing in 6 weeks, but I am more than ecstatic about all of the things that God is planning for me and has panned out, and I'm just on this earth and living this life to obey to Him. And I even have some very exciting things in store, in which He's already placed in front of me that I still cannot believe that's even real, and that's in results to obeying to Him. Thank you guys for watching.